beautiful. I think that's it. So they came across to Australia when she was very young as Korean immigrants from a country that was still reeling from the Korean War back in the 50s.
Korea is a small country and the life is very hard, tightened. But Australia is first a bigger country and for the future, we call them lucky country.
The first few years were pretty good, but then after that, I know that my parents struggled quite a lot. But that was part of the migrant story, I think. My dad managed to scrounge around and buy our first family car, which we didn't have in Korea. But we were so poor that we had this old Toyota Corolla and we called it the rainbow car because it was made with different coloured panels because we couldn't afford to actually buy a whole car.
When I came to Australia, I'm not working, only look after the children.
She did grow up with her parents as small business owners as well.
It's part of going, you know what, we're in this new country, let's try something new. And they definitely tried their hand at business a number of times.
And her parents have slogged it through to give them the best things that they could through time. And it's that background, I think, coming out of Blacktown but living the last 20 plus years in Canberra, that's something that people really don't know about her. She's come from, a very normal beginning.
Mum picked up work casually as sort of, helping out in the kitchen at a local cafe.
Elizabeth is the oldest of us three girls.
I suppose every parent's goal or purpose or wish is for their children to have a better life than they had. And I know that that certainly was the dream of my parents for us, and that's certainly what I want for my children.
We were able to live through our Korean heritage as well as the new Australian self that we were discovering, and at not once did we ever feel not part of Australia.
She's fought hard to get to where she is, understands family, she understands hard work.
When she was growing up until never fail down, never give up. And always look after for school, look after sister, look after society, definitely look after the Canberra and for future. Hockey, netball, dance, everything she can do. And even a Korean taekwondo has never non-stop until second dan.
So Nathan and I met, I suppose, later in life.
Walked into the ANU again, to this class, and as I was sitting there, the oldest guy in the room...
And at the time, I was a university lecturer at the ANU.
And I would have been in my late 30s, I think. In walked the teacher, and the teacher was Elizabeth Lee.
But that's when we first met. And I just remember thinking, oh yeah, it's just some mature age student, doing a law, finishing off his law degree. And then we actually reconnected a few weeks later because he was participating in the legal aid clinic program.
I think there were 4 or 5 students supposed to turn up to each day that we were allocated. And on the day that I was allocated with Elizabeth, I was the only person to turn up.
He literally was the only student who turned up.
We started talking about politics.
We got talking about politics, and it was around the time that I had run in 2012, had missed out, but 2016 was looming.
The one thing she asked me right at the start was, the next 6 months are going to be really difficult. They're all going to be about me.
Hey, I wasn't looking to date anybody. I'm about to be pre-selected and I've got a really important job to do. So if you want, we can continue seeing each other, but just so you know, the next 5 months, all about me. And I remember him sort of just going, oh yeah, that'd be cool.
But she was right. And it wasn't 6 months. We're looking at, 7 years in now, so...
I'm very fortunate that he's been able to be there by my side.
Of course, she's out a lot of nights of the week, whether it's sitting days or it's events across Canberra, meeting people and talking to people about, what should Canberra be like in the next 10 years.
It is definitely a juggle, there's no doubt about it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it is tough.
That's tough. But, we do it. She always makes time. She tries to come home after work to see the kids every morning. If she's got a 7:30 phone call, she's always up seeing the kids.
Having to manage work life, I think, is tough for every working parent. What does politician do?
I say baby queen. Helps people.
Helps people.
Caring, supportive.
Very honest person, very caring.
She's very down to earth.
A strong, independent, fierce woman.
Her integrity and her sense of duty.
Honest, she's focused, and she's got the talent.
Elizabeth's a very hard-working, dedicated mother who's able to balance a demanding family life with her work life, and I know that she's committed to Canberra. I know that she's committed to her family, and she'll be committed to your family too.
She's doing this for the right reasons. She hasn't been around politics for all of her life, as many people who are in politics have. She's had a number of jobs outside the political space, including being a lecturer at ANU. She's worked in the private sector. She's got a young family, like many Canberrans have.
Think about more for the people, not herself. Elizabeth is never give up for everything. Yeah.
It's authentic and genuine, and what you see is definitely what you get.
I like her philosophy, I like her approach to life, her commitment to people, her own manner of dealing with people, listening, which is very important for any politician. I think she'll make a very good Chief Minister.
She was often contacting me through COVID, seeing if there was anything further she could help with my business.
Elizabeth is energetic, she is hardworking, and she understands that it is time for a change in Canberra. And her policy and calm approach to bringing that about is exactly what Canberra needs.
It'd be really unfortunate if Canberra didn't get to see Elizabeth Lee as Chief Minister. I think she's just caring. She cares about Canberra, she cares about our family.
It doesn't matter what the topic is or what the issue is. A quick conversation with Elizabeth, she's able to grasp the impact that this is having on Canberran families.
She's passionate about the cause of Canberra, about changing Canberra for the better, and has been for a long, long time. And I just see that she has that vision for changing Canberra, and we need something different in this town, right? Like it's been the same for such a long time.
I think Elizabeth's greatest strength is that she is a natural leader. She's always been a leader in sport that she plays. She's always been a leader in education. She's always been a leader whether she's teaching or whether she's a student.
She is a hard-working person. You've got to be careful that you don't confuse high profile with hard-working. They're not always the same thing. Elizabeth Lee is a hard-working woman who takes seriously the issues that are brought to her from the community and what she can do to resolve those issues.
I joined the Liberal Party because I believe in individual freedom and responsibility. I think that people should be free to live their life the way they wish, provided that, one, they take responsibility for their own actions, and two, they don't harm others. And when I look at a lot of the issues that modern society faces today through that lens, that is what really drives me in terms of the values.
Canberra has had a Labor government for 22 years. That's far too long.
Elizabeth Lee and the whole Canberra Liberals team are committed to making sure that we fix what is really quite wrong in Canberra across the board on health, education, cost of living, and the state of our city.
So I want to make sure that I create the kind of Canberra where everyone feels connected, where everyone feels included, and they feel this is the city. This is a city where I go to achieve my dreams.